We go to D.C., where one Democratic senator, after clutching her pearls and her rectum after the burning of Roe, is pushing for the policy to ban states from enacting their own pro-life laws.
Bullshit?
One problem with that.
Well,
it's called the Constitution.
It's true.
I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this.
What kind of shit is that?
It's What's Next. What's up, guys? Jazz Berganzo, What's Next? Your daily dose, common sense, facts, and salt. Hope you guys are feeling good today on this Thursday. And of course, it is another chilly Thursday in the Northeast. The old adage, the beating of a dead horse, has been used many times in many different ways. Well, when it comes to the Democrats, the one horse that they will keep on beating and beating and beating, pretty much at this point, there's nothing but dust, and that is abortion. They were able to reign for basically 49 years, the toll of 63 million deaths, killing off an entire generation, America's biggest Holocaust, finally went down in flames in June of 22. But for the Democrats, no, is it going to stop there? No. They tried little ways, end arounds, try to go underneath, over the top, what have you, in regards to trying to get abortion reignited. Codify anyone? Yeah. How did that work? Yeah, that went down in flames also. But one senator says, you know what? I got a plan. I'm going to push forth a policy that's going to ban states, yes, ban states who enact their own pro-life laws. She's like, how you like that? That'll work, right? No. Again, the Constitution called and said, yeah, about that. And here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Democratic Senator Baldwin going to the left of Roe to ban states from passing laws that interfere with abortion is on the ballot. We'll hear from this lovely woman in just a bit, but a little background. On Wednesday broadcast of MSNBC's another lovely show called The Last Word, which of course no one watches, Senator Tammy Baldwin, Democrat out of Wisconsin, stated that abortion is on the ballot in 24 elections. Really? Is it? Really? It's not. Her election is the best example of this, and pointing out to her effort to restore Roe to our national laws and take the additional step of making sure that states don't pass local laws that interfere with, quote, basic rights. You know, the one that was made up, that created Roe and pretty much killed off a generation. Just saying. Baldwin, without any question, our rights, freedoms are on the ballot this November. Really? Well, you know what? I'm going to ask it anyway. What rights that women have were stripped from them during the Trump administration? I'll wait. Boom, boom. Alex, that would be none for 400. And you would be right. Clown. And it's not only true that the level of the presidency, although we saw President Trump did pushing forward 3 activist Supreme Court justices, what that resulted in. But it's happening in the Senate and Houses races across the country. There's probably no better example of this in my home state of Wisconsin, where Washington, D.C. Republicans have recruited a California bank owner, mega millionaire, to run against me. If he wins, he could be very well a deciding vote for the national abortion ban. National abortion ban. Again, not going to happen. He said he is totally opposed to abortion rights. There is no question that these rights and freedoms are on the ballot. I, by contrast, lead the effort to restore Roe to our national laws with those basic rights. The overwhelming majority of Americans supports having access to abortion care. Bullshit. And also the right to control one's own body. Again, bullshit. And we can't stop fighting until that is, again, the law of the land. But let's hear it from this very, very ignorant and uneducated Democratic senator.
Joining us now is Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin, now a candidate for re-election to the Senate. Senator Baldwin, this was obviously a very moving experience today to listen to these stories from around America of what Donald Trump and the Republican-controlled Supreme Court has done.
Without question, Dr. Denard was sharing her account, and it just reminds us of the dire reality in a post-Roe America. During this
Dire.
briefing, we were reminded by other witnesses about the situation across this country. Dr.
Schmucky
from
Schumer.
Washington, D.C.
Clown.
talked about a woman who had just accumulated the bus fare she needed to come up from the South
Elizabeth Warren.
to get care.
Pocahontas.
She had no money left for a hotel, stayed at a homeless shelter, and got food from a food pantry so she could receive the care that she needed.
All right, I'm not going to go through that mess. It's another 4 minutes of that nonsense. During that little press conference that they had, what about the women who suffered abortions and are still suffering it now? Mentally, physically, whose lives have been destroyed because they chose to end the life that at the time probably they didn't think was anything at all except a blob of tissue. Where are those? I didn't see them, were they sitting in the back? Were they in a different room? Didn't see that. But this is the nonsensical garbage that you have coming out of the left. The fact of the matter is that with everything else going on in the world, the last thing on Americans' minds is abortion. I guarantee you that come the 24 election, when it comes down to either Trump, DeSantis, or dementia, or knee pads Harris, or wild card, Mike Obama. Yeah. That's like on the floor when it comes to issues that are important to Americans right now. Because Americans have to eat. Americans have to pay rent. They have to pay their mortgages. They have to pay off their cars. They have to do all the little things that normal people do daily. So when you have nonsensical and uneducated, as I said prior, Democrats like this woman here, Tammy Baldwin, trying to push forth national law to ban states. So basically, you're trying to strip states' rights. That's why the Constitution comes into play, and that's the reason why it's not going to happen. It's going to fall on its face. They're going to face plant, just like they did with the, quote, codify Roe. Remember that? Yeah, that lasted about 15 seconds before that crashed and burned and died in committee. So she can run around all day long on MSNBC. Again, a network that nobody watches, or cuck NN, and she can, shoot her mouth off over there. But average Joe and Jane, they're not thinking about that. They're not thinking about that right now. They're not. Now, don't get me wrong, is that once Roe got burned, it became a states' right issue. It is. And then when you had, over 20 states, almost 25 states enact their own pro-life laws, automatic triggered the second Roe went down, like Florida and Dakotas and Carolinas and Georgias and Tennessees and what have you. So I won't say good luck with what Miss Baldwin's doing, because one, it's not going to happen. Basically, she's just yelling into the wilderness, and she's getting no response back except from the knuckleheads who watch these programs. But I won't even say she get her 15 seconds or 15 minutes, because the second this interview was over, it was over. That's it. So, yeah, for the millions of babies that have been saved since Roe got burned in June of 22, God bless them all. And for those who still think that, abortion is women's rights, again, not in the Constitution, made up, God have mercy on them. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this, please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. Continue to spread the word about the show. Help the show continue to grow. And we'll see you next time. Peace.